Okay, so this is an introduction to Scratch and the first project that we're going to do, which is animating your name. Now, when you go to the Scratch website, so scratch.mit.edu, it'll open up like this. The very first thing you have to do every time you log on is to make sure that you're actually signed in. So I can see my name up here, so that means that I'm signed in. If you haven't got your name there, sign in before you do anything, otherwise it won't save. So once you know you're signed in, click over on Create, and we're going to create a project today, which is going to be your name. So when Scratch loads, you have basically two parts to the Scratch website. The first part is the canvas here, or stage, and the other part is where the code goes. So at the moment, it's just loading. We've got things called sprites. Now sprites are objects or characters that can do things, and you'll see them pop up along here in this window. And then you've got things that can happen to our sprites, and these can also be used to control events for our backgrounds as well, things like that. So we're going to do a project today. Now to do that, take your mouse over to the little question mark, click on it, and it's going to open up with a whole bunch of different activities. We're going to do the second one here. It's called Animate Your Name. Now to do these projects, what you need to do is read what it tells you to do and then do that over here. So it says here we're going to animate your name. We're going to create an animation like these ones, which you can see. And it says click here to start. So all we do is click there. So it says choose the first letter of your username or initials or favorite word. I'm just going to do my name. So what I'm going to do to find the first letter, click on this icon, which is what we call the sprite icon, new sprite, and we're going to find letters, which are over here. Now there's heaps of different letters, okay, there's a whole range of them. I'll just wait for them to load. There we go. So you've got green ones, you've got blue ones, you've got orange ones, and so I'm just going to just do the first couple of letters of my name. So get some more letters. I'm going to do them different. So I'm going to do an orange one, and if you want to move these around, if you click on them, you can click on them on the stage over here. You can move them around. Like I don't want the cat as well, so what I'm going to do to get rid of the cat, go up to the scissors, and the scissors will delete them. With these letters you can also make them bigger or smaller, so to do that we just click on either grow, where the arrows are going out, and then click on your shape or your letter, so making that really big, and if you want it, if it's got a bit too big, just shrink it. So this is shrink, the arrows going in, and this is grow with the arrows going out. So I'm just going to make my name a bit bigger. Okay, so that was the first step, and it also told us to cut out the cat, which we've done. Next, add color effects. It says make the letter change color whenever it's clicked. Build the script like this. So what we have to do is we have to pick, tells us which blocks, so events when this sprite is clicked, and change color. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into events when this sprite is clicked, and what that means is when we click on that letter, it will do what we tell it to underneath that block, and it's asking us to change the color. Now things like color are going to be under looks, so we're going to go to here, scroll down until you can see the one here, you can see which says change color, and we drag it out. Now this isn't going to work unless they're linked up, so you need to click them together like little Lego blocks. So that will now work. It says change color effect by 25. That basically is changing the hue or the color. So if you change that number, it will actually affect the colors that you get out. So now when we click the sprite, and you can see here, can you think which letter is going to change color? Can you see I've got the R highlighted? So at the moment this code works on the R. If I click on the G, see there's nothing there. If I click on the R, that's where my code is. So this, if I click on the G, nothing happens. But if I click on the R, it changes color, which is what I told it to do. So that's according to the code. Woo, so I can get it to change color. So that's the first part. Next, add a sound. So to add a sound, click on the little sound tab, which is here, and then click on the little speaker, and you can use any of these sounds. I'm just going to use the boing. We'll use boing. So click on boing, press OK, or any sound you want. It doesn't have to be that one. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to now add that. So oops, just go back in. So sometimes what might happen is, so you can see there my little side actually shut. So all you have to do is just open it again and flick all the way back to where you were. So we've done already the colour. So we're doing add a sound. So it says select a sound, then clicked on scripts, which is over here. And then what we are going to do is we're going to add on to what we already had. So we had the colour changing and now we're going to play a sound. So I'm going to click on my letter R. I'm going to go to sound. I'm going to tell it to play sound and select the sound that I have. So I'm just going to put it back again. Boing. And you can see here underneath sounds, these are the sounds that are available for R. So it'll come up now in the little list. Boing. Alright, so now if I click on it, okay, so you've added a sound. Next thing, adding a backdrop. So we're going to click on the little icon down here, which is like a little landscape. And you can add any backdrop you want. I'm just going to add a real simple one, so that one there for my name. And then we're adding our next letter. Now, I've already got a couple of letters there, but this is going to show you how you can actually draw letters yourself. So if you want to do that, what you can do is click on the paintbrush. And down here you can choose the thickness of the brush. So I'm going to make it quite thick. I'm going to make it pink. Maybe that pink. And then I'm just going to draw a letter A for myself. Woo. Okay, so that's my letter. And you can do other things to it. You can type as well if you wanted to, and there's other effects you can do. So I'm just going to do that. And then it says, okay, draw the letter, and next we're going to make it spin. So to make this A spin, make sure you clicked on the A, or the letter that you want to spin, and we're going to build our script. So remember, to build scripts, we need to go up to scripts, and then we're going to follow this code. It says turn 15 degrees. We're also going to wait 1 second between each turn, and we're going to repeat that 10 times when we click on that letter. So that's what this code is telling us. Okay, so we're going to go into, make sure we're clicked on that letter, we're in scripts. So we're going to go into motion. We're going to turn 15 degrees. We're then going to get it to wait. So each time it turns, it's going to wait a little bit. And wait 1 second. And all of these, with this code, anything that's a number, like in a white box, you can change it. So we're going to keep it at 15 degrees, but you can change these numbers. And then we're going to do something called a loop. So this is getting this piece of code to repeat. And to do that, pick up this block so it wraps around those other two blocks. And that's going to make this go over and over and over and over again. It's going to keep turning, waiting, turning, waiting, turning, waiting. And to get it to start, we go into events. And when we click on the sprite, remember a sprite is an object, so in this case it's the letter. We click on the letter, it's going to spin. So now we can have a look. That code is there for A, so let's click on A. And you can see every time I click on it, it spins, which is awesome. So that is doing what we wanted to do. So next thing, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller because that's really very small, very large. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next thing. Get it to stop. Finish your name. So here is where you can do whatever you want. You can change sizes for letters, you can do all sorts of things. Now you can either do the shrinking and growing, or you can do something a little bit more impressive. So here we're going to do this to the G for mine. So we're going to make the letter grow and shrink, and we're going to change the size by 10. What that means, it's positive, yeah? Positive 10 means it's going to grow by this amount 10 each time. So we're going to repeat that for 15 times. It'll grow boom, 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 15 times. And then we're going to get it to be negative 10. That means shrink by the same amount. And we're going to do that 15 times. And that's going to happen when the sprite's clicked. So remember, click on the sprite that you want, so the G. Click on scripts. And then we're going to do this looks. So we're going to be looking at change size by. Change size by. And we need 2 of those blocks. One of them is going to have a negative in it because it's going to shrink, go the other way. We're going to make it repeat so it keeps on shrinking or growing. So here it's going to grow, grow, grow. And we're going to get that to do it 15 times. So you can change these numbers, okay? I'm just copying what it's telling me, but you can make that up. And the last thing that we needed to do is tell it when that happens. So that's when the sprite is clicked. So now, if we click on my G, you can see it grows and then it shrinks. It grows and then it shrinks. That's really awesome. Now the last thing I want to show you, there's actually a couple of other things. One's a glide. So to make a letter glide, and you can actually do this with one of the existing letters. I'm going to do it with the R, so it's going to do the sound, and then it's going to glide to a particular place. So to do that, we go to glide, and you can see here, it tells it where to glide, how long it takes, and where it ends up. Now this is using coordinates, okay, for this, where we are. Can you see, as I move my mouse around, check out the X and Y here. Can you see them changing? So if you want your letter to get to a certain place, you can actually pick those coordinates to get it to go there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of these glide blocks, click on the R, and maybe I want it to glide to here, 142 and -33. So all I've done there is I've just looked at where my little mouse was, which was over here, and I want it to glide there. So we're going to click on the R, you see, and it glided to where I wanted it to go, so to the coordinates that I put in. And if you wanted it to go back again, the cool thing is you can pick up this letter. Can you see the coordinates? Look down in the corner here. See the coordinates change? So now, when I put this here, check this out. The coordinates of where this R is are actually these coordinates. They go into the glide. So I'll do it again so you can see. So move the R, I want it to go back again. See they change? So now I can put this block at the end and it means that the R will go out and it'll go back again. So we'll click on it. It goes back again. So that's how you can get a letter to glide. And to finish off, I just wanted to show you one other thing. You may not be bothered, clicking and getting things to do this on there, with each letter. If you want them to do it automatically, instead of doing when this sprite is clicked, you can use another event which is called when the green flag is clicked. So I'm going to put that here and pop that on instead. This won't do anything now, there's nothing attached to it. And all this does is when I click the green flag, this is all going to run automatically, so I don't have to click anything. Alright, so I'll click the green flag. So you can see it all does it on its own. And with this G, it only does that growing and shrinking once. If you wanted it to do that on and on and on forever, press the red stop button. Let's go back to the G. Maybe I want it to go on and on forever. We have a loop for that. It's called the forever loop. So I'm going to wrap that around my whole thing, and now that is going to go on growing and shrinking forever. So if I press the green flag, this goes on and on and on. So these are the main kind of effects you can use in your animation today. Sounds, growing, shrinking, spinning, color changing, and you can see again the color changing isn't doing it all the time. So you could do maybe a forever loop, and now it'll do it over and over and over. So it's your job to come up with something for your name. When you think you're finished, all you need to do is share your project, and you do that by going up here to the share button, so you can share it. If it's not letting you do that, you probably haven't signed in, so just make sure you're signed in. What it's going to do is it'll open up your project. You can give it a name, you can give it credits, by me. Pretty awesome. And you can give it a title, my name. Oops. And once you've done that, it'll say at the top whether or not your project is shared. Mine's shared now, it's shared with everyone. So anyone in the world can now view that and actually see my animation, which is pretty cool. So that's what you're going to be doing today. I want you to animate your name, and we're going to show off the really cool ones at the end of the lesson. All right, good luck.